How's everybody doing today? Really? That's it? How's everybody doing today? All right. All right. And it is proven that perception is reality. What you perceive is real to you. And that's why we have so many conflicts with other people. We have conflicts because we think that people are going to think the way we do. And they're going to think logically with what we consider logic. But each and every one of us has a different background. Each and every one of us has a different story. So if you get cut off by somebody on the street, if you get hit by a car and everyone's okay, but your day is now changed, how do you relate to that? How do you deal with that? Do you carry that with you the rest of the day, the rest of the week? Or can you set it aside and realize these things are in the past? People are people. Do you have the respect for another person that if you're at a restaurant, you don't snap your fingers and you don't demand things from a waitstaff? Or if your food isn't the right temperature, you don't barrel into them? What you do, how you act, is everything about you. So if you're authentic and you're honest, you never have to worry about lying. You never have to worry about what you said. And passion, to me, is something that embodies life. We're here in a very short time, and for some people it's shorter than others, but even if I lived over 100 years, it wouldn't be enough, at least for me. And I've met people that have said, oh, if I get to 50 or 60, it's enough. I can't understand that logic, but to them, that's their reality. You don't know what that person's going through. You don't know what they've experienced and hardships and how they deal with those hardships. So part of the reason we're here is to share tools and resources and educational information and motivation and inspiration so that you are better equipped to deal with these things, that you become a ninja. A ninja in the sense that when something comes at you, you are just blocking it and you go on with your day. It's not affected. We all know people that the first thing they do, they come up to you and they say, oh, you wouldn't believe what day I had today. I can't believe what happened this morning. This person cut me off. He almost got in an accident. And that person proceeds to tell the next 5, 10 people that they see about the same thing. So are you living in the present, or are you living in the past, in the future? And many people are, because half the people think they're too young to do something and they don't strive for it, they don't do it. The other half of the people think they're too old and it's too late and they don't have the knowledge and they're tired and they don't do it. So what ends up happening is, at the end of their days, there's regret and there's quiet desperation throughout life. And that's something you don't want, because perception is reality. You can live in the moment and not worry about what's coming, not worry about what happened, because you cannot change the past. And that's something I talked about in my book, and it's called the 5-minute rule. If you are challenged with something, I like to use the word challenge instead of a problem, because a challenge denotes that there's a potential solution. There's a way to solve this issue. A problem is a whole different mindset that, without getting into all the scientific research that goes into your subconscious and affirmations, which we're going to hear from Hal Elrod a little bit about that, and we'll touch on that. What you think, how you believe, what you decide to do with your life every day defines who you are. And the more authentic you can be, the more honest of a life you have. And with that, the more passion comes into your life. And passion, to me, again, is something that drives a force. Now, you might have a passion for doing open heart surgery. You might be really passionate about it. You don't know anything about it, but you might be passionate about it, so I wouldn't suggest you go and try open heart surgery. But passion without talent, or without the right motivation, or without the education, is just a drive to get you to the next level. And especially these days in the immediate gratification that we have. How many people are stuck in their phone? And on one hand, it's a necessity. On one hand, it's something where this is technology. This is our way of communicating. We can be more efficient in business. We can communicate with our friends, the people we think are friends, call our friends, or are truly our friends. But there's times where unplugging is huge. And it's unbelievable that we actually have to make an effort to unplug. But whatever you do to motivate you, to get you centered, whether it's yoga, whether it's meditation, whether it's mindfulness, whether it's silence, whatever it is for you, whatever resonates with you, take that time each day and center yourself and focus on what is truly a goal, what is truly important to you. Because if your perception of your life is that you're just going to go to work and it's another day, or it's a Monday, or we have a lot of things going on today, then that's your reality. But if you go to work inspired that it's an opportunity, I don't know who I'm going to meet, I don't know how I'm going to change people's lives, and that's your perception, to me, that's a whole different reality that I'd like to be in. So everyone can make that shift. Everyone can change from a feeling in that 5-minute moment, in that 5-minute rule. You can realize whatever the issue is, however angry you are, it's on you. If you allow another person to ruin the rest of your day, it's on you because you're allowing it. I can tell you that no matter what anyone says to me, it's not going to change the way I'm feeling, but it tells me a lot about that person. And you have to look at your circle of influence and how many people have within their immediate circle of influence negative people that don't support you, that don't lift you up, that you might be on a diet and they're offering you cake. You know, it goes on and on because there's comfort to some people in keeping you at that level, in keeping you theirs. And only when you both, if you're talking about two people, you both can grow, whether it's a couple, whether it's friends, whether it's a circle of people, there's so much more. And this room is an amazing example of that. And I'd like to express my own personal appreciation for each and every one of you that are in this room. Because some of you I've known for decades, some of you I've had the privilege of just meeting. And however you came here, whatever it was that inspired you, I'm excited about what is going to happen over these next 2 days. Today is a day of finding your passions and exploring your passions. Tomorrow is a day of giving back, helping others, and making a difference in our world. And they go hand in hand. Because before you can help others, you have to take care of yourself. And Alex Hayden, my trainer in the corner, is one person that emphasized that to me. And we'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow morning. But in my book, I talk about feed your body like a thoroughbred. And we're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on health and fitness and wellness. But all of these parts and pieces are tools that you can leave here with to be a better you, a better version of yourself. Now, as we go and become a better version of ourselves, and we'll go to the PowerPoint in just a moment, family is really the basis of all of this. Family is what is our true support. Now, when I use the term family, I talk about a family, a tribe. Doesn't necessarily have to be your blood relatives. But a family is an atmosphere, it's an attitude, it's a nurturing responsibility. So I'd like to point something out here. These are my parents that have both passed. And I wanted to take a moment because everyone in life has a challenge. And sometimes you're so busy proving yourself to someone else that you lose sight of what's really important to you. So for some reason, through school, I thought I wanted to be a dentist. Not sure exactly why, and I have my Bachelor of Science in Biology that I don't use, but I thought I wanted to be a dentist, and that was great timing at that point because that's when AIDS came out. So the ADA came out with declarations saying you had to wear gloves, face masks, goggles, and you still could get it. Sears came out with smile centers. They were popping up all over the place. I'm looking at being in my first year of dental school. Why am I doing this? I had a business that I had started in high school that started as a DJ company. We weren't yet a production company that wanted to grow. And the normal thing to do was to go to college, then find a profession and move forward. And there was a point when I was going through finals, and I was dating my wife at the time, Diane, and I said to her, what would you think if I dropped out of dental school, went back to undergrad to get my degree because I had gotten in after 3 years, and went into my business full time? And Diane supported me, but said, don't you think you should probably finish your finals first? So I did. I went back, got my degree, and never looked back. And it was, I'm going to say, 5 years maybe, until my parents both told me, we're really proud of what you've done. Going from a potential dentist to a DJ isn't exactly, necessarily an uphill swing. But the point is, we are always looking for the support and the love and the reinforcement of those who we love and those who love us. But why is it different when we get into a larger group? And those of you that are new to this type of an event or this type of a group, I have been honored to be in this world for almost 30 years of being with this level, this quality of people that are here. And this mindfulness and the spiritual enlightenment and everything that goes with it, that when we're here in this room, this is not the world. This is not a snapshot of the world. You know that. You may be at work, you may be at a party, and you may find one or two people that kind of resonate with you and have goals other than the immediate future. And about that immediate future, when you're looking in your phone and you're living in your phone, you could be walking right by your soulmate because you're unaware, you're too busy here. Just like the people that are here, you're all experiencing this moment. John Vroman, the co-founder of the Front Row Foundation, is a moment maker, and you're going to hear from John tomorrow. And living in the moment is where you find your true happiness, because you can buy something that you think you need, you think you want, you think is important. And how often have you gotten tired of it? Yeah, I need a new one. Because it's not sustained. Delayed gratification for something you've worked for, things that you do because you have the pride in owning it. That's where happiness comes from. But happiness is something that comes from within. And if you're not happy, you could buy all the things in the world and it's not going to make you happy. Now, if we can go back to the PowerPoint for a moment. When I said family is important, I've recently celebrated 30 years of marriage with my wife, Diane. Thank you. And we celebrated renewing our vows with the people we love most. We had, looking at the screen to the left, our daughter Rachel and her husband Joe, and to the right, our son Blake and his girlfriend Sophie. And it was the six of us in Mexico. Rachel walked me down the aisle, and Blake walked Diane down the aisle. And we did it for a number of reasons. I've always wanted to do something to impact people's lives. And when you can do that and you can do it to another generation, because our kids weren't at our wedding, they didn't see the love we had for each other in that moment then. They didn't see the experience. They weren't a part of that. And this enabled us to even bring in the same rabbi that married us 30 years ago out to Mexico. But this enabled them to experience this as well. And if we talk about passion, I have a passion for living life, for living it to its fullest, and for experiencing as much as you can in life. Now, again, as I mentioned before, you need the skills, you need the tools. You can't just have passion and succeed. So the very first thing you need to do is to define and identify what these goals are. And what are your dreams? What are your passions? For me, I was doing a lot of things. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I like extreme sports. I like rappelling down buildings. My daughter did it with me as well. Whitewater rafting, scuba diving, jumping out of airplanes, whatever. I enjoy the rush because these are things that may not be for everybody, but it puts you in a vulnerable state where you have to trust. I remember the first time I rappelled down a waterfall above the tree line, and you have to, the instructions are you go to the end of this wharf with there's railings on the side, there's no railings here, the tree line is down there. Yeah, just turn around. Okay. Turn around and jump backwards. So there's a point you have to trust in the system. You have to trust that that's going to work. Just like if you're flying a plane, you have to trust it's going to work. You have to trust the pilot knows what they're doing. And if you're in an Uber, you're going to have to trust that that driver knows how to drive. So you are always relinquishing trust, whether it's in business and you have to delegate. If you can't delegate properly, you're going to realize you can't do everything yourself and you can't grow. So these issues they're on so many levels. But when you can define and identify your goals and your dreams, you have a vision of what that is. You're not going to go on a trip and just drive. You're going to look at a map. You're going to use navigation. You're going to figure out the best way to get there. But just because you want to do something, that doesn't mean you already have those tools. So without vision, there's no direction. Without direction, you have no way to get to your destination. So for years, I wanted to write a book. I wasn't sure what I wanted to write about, but I knew I had a story. And throughout my life, I was always collecting things, whether it was coin collections, beer can collections, stamp collections, and I still have all of them. They're tucked away, they're packed, they're safe. They're there because it's part of my past, but that's the past that I need to get rid of and I need to evolve, move forward to. But my point in this is when you are saving these things, it came to me in December of 2014 when I was producing an event for Hal Elrod and for John Berghoff, the Best Year Ever Blueprint. And I'd done a number of their events already, but this particular one, I had connected with certain key people, and there were some major changes going on. And from the moment I got on the airplane from San Diego back to Chicago, I just started writing. And what became a year-long process of writing my book was a story that I wanted to share, to inspire the world, to share stories of people that are changing the world, people like Brendan Maxwell that are bringing amazing coffee to your door within a week of it being roasted and having fair market trade, and that's Utopian Coffee. And helping people that are in the areas where they're farming the coffee and producing the coffee. And so many people tomorrow you're going to hear about a lot of things too that as the Passion Summit we are looking to do to make an impact in the world. And just for a moment, Carl Drew, can you stand up for a moment? Let's have a nice round of applause for Carl Drew, who is Involved with Angel Wings, but not just involved with Angel Wings International. You'll hear more about that tomorrow. But Carl and Andy Janti, another friend of mine, they built a hospital in Haiti, in Jacmel, and it's now about 1.5 years in operation. And Carl flew in 30 hours to come here, and then got to our house a couple days ago and slept for 18 hours. So we do have people coming from all over the world, and appreciate you being here. And those of you that know Carl know what kind of an amazing person he is, and actually an adventurer in his own right. And that's why he's going to be part of some of the adventures we're doing as the Passion Summit. And if we can go back to the slide for a moment. As I mentioned, I wrote this book over a year period, but accountability is key. And without accountability, so I'm writing a book. What's stopping me from taking 5 years? Well, I wrote in my signature line of my email, forthcoming author of the book, Living Life with Passion and Helping Others. It was out there. I had to produce this book. And then another amazing person in my life, John Kane. Give John a nice round of applause for those of you that know John from Vector Marketing and Cutco. John supported me as the first company person to gift books to the top sales team of Vector and have me come out to New York and speak. And that was already planned. The book wasn't written yet. I was speaking in November, and we were going to gift people the book in December. So there's a deadline. So once you have goals, once you have a timeline, it's on you. And I put it out there. Share them with others. That's exactly the point. If you have something you want to do, if you want to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 100 pounds, share it. That's why organizations like Weight Watchers are so successful. You build accountability partners, which is another thing that we're going to be doing over the next 2 days here. We want everybody here to resonate with at least another person that you can communicate with beyond this event, that you can be accountable, that you can share your challenges, your goals, your passions, your dreams, and as it says right there, provide support and keep you on track. And then you have to commit to doing this, commit to making it happen. I'm the last person that wants to hear excuses. I have a zero tolerance for excuses. Because, again, if something happened or didn't happen and it revolves you, own it. There's nothing wrong in failure. We all fail, but it's how you learn from that experience, how you pick yourself up and move forward, that gives you the fortitude to succeed. That's Emily. Emily's coming up next. There we go. So I wanted to touch on one of the definitions, because there's a lot of definitions of passion. And really the definition that resonates with me is a strong liking or desire for or a devotion to some activity, object, or concept. Is the passion for living life to its fullest? Is it a passion for helping others? Is it a passion for getting out of school in a certain amount of time? Is it a passion for selling your first house, for impacting students, for making a change in this world? Do you think Elon Musk has passion? One of the most amazing people in our time. And when he developed his concepts for Tesla and the electric car, he shared that with the world so that the world can change, not just him capitalizing on it. So when you reflect why you're here and what you do every day, be in the moment of whatever it is you do and experience all that you possibly can, and realize that there's people in our lives that we remember from high school, that we remember, oh, that's the person that was always smoking out in the smoking lounge, or that was the person that was the cheerleader, or that was the person that was the athlete, or, that person really had an attitude and I don't even like that person. How often are we judging people by who they were and not who they are? Think about that. How often do we judge people by who they were and who we remember them to be, and not how they are at the moment? And I see it so many times with parents and children that there's a point of letting go, and especially when kids come back from college and the rules change in college, but they're still the same at home, there's a lot of angst, and there's a lot of aspects where there's confrontation. But you have a choice of how to deal with it. You have a choice of how to move forward. And if you care enough about somebody, you will find a way. And I can tell you from personal experience, there are people that are no longer in my life because I have tried, or another family member has tried, and it has become blatantly obvious that the feeling is not mutual. So how long do you carry a negative relationship? How long do you carry this weight? And I can tell you, when that relationship ended, which wasn't even on our part, a huge weight was lifted. And if you've ever gone through a situation like that, it's living in the moment and not bringing things up from 10, 20, 30 years ago. But a lot of people live in the past. There's people that live in the future of what they're going to do, about what they're going to build, who they're going to meet. What about now? Now is the time, now is your time, now is our time to be passionate about life, to be passionate about everything we have. And I'm so excited and so grateful to have each and every one of you in this room to experience what you are about to experience over these next 2 days. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.